I have always opposed abortion. But when I ran for office, I thought, well, I can say and can understand the idea of leaving the law the way it is. The Supreme Court has made its decision. I'm just going to say I'll support the law and preserve the law as it exists.
Every other Republican presidential candidate has criticized the Supreme Court ruling on gay marriage, but you're not going to spend a lot of time on this issue.
Look, it's an issue that's been determined by the Supreme Court, and frankly, you know, I'm about jobs.
I have a plan to create 12 million new jobs.
You've been all over the map on this issue, that you are against civil unions. You've said this is a state issue. Then you've said that maybe it's the federal government that should handle it through a constitutional amendment.
For any confusion that's there, let me make it very clear, which is that my preference would be to have a national standard that defined marriage as a relationship between a man and a woman. That would then allow states to determine what rights would be provided for people of the same gender that wanted to have a relationship.
I wish that was done by the state. I don't like the way they ruled. I disagree with the Supreme Court from the standpoint they should have given the state, should be a states' rights issue.
States could have their own decisions with regards to the domestic partnership rights.
And when I look at even the most militant on the whole gay rights decision, the most militant people are saying there's nothing you can do, because they're talking about constitutional amendments, and then they go on to say that that could never happen. So at a certain point, you have to be realistic about it. I would be very strong on putting certain judges on the bench that I think maybe could change things.
But you're not going to spend a lot of time on this issue.
Look, it's an issue that's been determined by the Supreme Court. The most militant people are saying there's nothing you can do. So at a certain point, you have to be realistic about it.
You saying that if you become president, you might try to appoint justices to overrule the decision on same-sex marriage?
I would strongly consider that, yes.
What plans do you have to put back and keep jobs here in the United States?
Boy, great question, an important question, because you're absolutely right. And the place where we've seen manufacturing go has been China. What I will do as president is make sure it's more attractive to come to America again. This is the way we're going to create jobs in this country.
I'm going to bring the jobs back from China. I'm going to bring the jobs back from Japan. I'm going to bring the jobs back from Mexico.
Now, we're going to have to make sure that as we trade with other nations, that they play by the rules, and China hasn't. One of the reasons, or one of the ways they don't play by the rules, is artificially holding down the value of their currency. China has been a currency manipulator for years and years and years.
One of the reasons they're able to do it is they devalue their currency to such an extent. They are the single greatest currency manipulator that's ever been on this planet.
On day one, I will label China a currency manipulator, which will allow me as president to be able to put in place, if necessary, tariffs where I believe that they are taking unfair advantage of our manufacturers.
And if they don't stop devaluing, we're going to have to charge them a tax on the goods coming in.